All right, so I'm Tom Goldberg from DS Group, one of the two co-founders. We've been running for 3 years now. We specialize specifically within AI technology startups. So everyone kind of knows like ChatGPT and Siri and things like that. So we basically hire for early stage startups that are building those types of technologies that have ambitions to be like the next like Metas and DeepMinds and stuff like that. We typically work with them early stage when they've raised like pre-seed funding, and then ideally take them through to like an IPO or an exit. And then within that, there are two typical verticals that we cover, which is software engineering and ML, and covering regions in the UK. We do a lot of recruitment in France and Germany, and we've actually just launched our US West Coast offering as well. So that's a bit about us.
Oh, West Coast. So that is easier with the time difference than the East Coast. 5, not 8.
No, it's more difficult, the West Coast.
Oh,
yeah.
Gone,
So
sorry, my geography.
yeah,
Compass is off. You've gone San Francisco, LA, California, 8 hours difference.
That's it. Yeah, it's early days. Yeah, but it's going to be a bit of a transition. We're launching it from London initially, and then we'll have boots on the ground in America once we get up and running.
Amazing. So, you're going to be doing shift work, so you're not working all hours of the day.
Me and my co-founder are going to take split responsibility. Yeah,
Split sounds good. It comes off 50-50.
That's it. Yeah, it's no pressure on either one to bill more than the other.
Okay. Love it. Right, great. My name is Ben Lillington-Lester. So I'm the COO at Search Talent Recruitment Consultants in Dublin. Business was set up back in 2019 by Aisling Harrison. So Aisling had worked in recruitment for 30 years for another brand in Dublin. Decided she wanted to go out on her own. So launched the business in May 2019. I joined her just as a senior recruitment consultant. And then as we grew and grew and grew, took on more responsibility, really. So stepped up to be the commercial manager and then director, and have worked my way up to my title of COO. Nice. We probably have around 30 of us at the moment. We're permanent, Irish-based. We do have an office in Romania. We have one in the UK, and we're just branching out into Scandinavia at the moment. Not the States, Tom, so that area is safe. Maybe I'll stay away from the States and you stay away from Scandinavia.
Nice.
We work across various different divisions. We're quite strong in accounting and finance.
Okay.
We do IT recruitment, although IT has been challenging this year. You're obviously very niche in the IT you do. We're very strong in sales and marketing. We have a very active legal sector, and we're also in real estate and property development. So Thriving business, been around for 5 years, been a real challenge in 2023, but lots and lots of good things going on. I'm very excited for the new year next year.
Yeah, nice. Have you found one of those kind of divisions has been more buoyant than others then?
IT has had an absolute hammering this year for us, really. Our two biggest clients have both had complete hiring freezes across the board this year. So all that, which we became rather accustomed to in 2019, 2020, 21, 22, has just dried up altogether, which has forced the business development, really. Legal is our biggest billing division. We have a team of 4 consultants who work in there. The fees are typically the highest across our business. But it's been a challenge. Nearly all divisions we have been a challenge this year. It was very comforting for me to go to the TRN retreat this summer and realize that everyone else is in the same boat. No one seemed to have been having a record year. Everyone was feeling the economy in the pinch, whether they were Ireland or the UK. So it hasn't been an easy year, but still lots of good things going on.
It hasn't. Yeah, we've spoken to a few customers of ours, like tech companies, and even they've struggled. So it kind of makes you feel a little bit better about things that even cutting edge tech companies have found the economy a little bit tougher. So it makes you feel a bit better about yourself.
It does in a way, but then you can almost have a pity party, can't you? And well, it's not my fault, and it's not fair, and I can't do anything about it, and everyone else is struggling. And you've got to find a way of having success, whether you're having to pivot or try something new or be agile as a business. I think we're lucky like that because we're quite small. We're still in that sort of startup mentality. We actually opened the business in 2019, and then of course 2020, COVID came and slapped us in the face. So we've had to adapt quite a lot. It's not like we're a really stable, secure business with lots of profits in the bank. We've had to move and really alter some of the practices and areas maybe we're recruiting to try and make sure it's still profitable. So it's been a challenge, but hey, I'm still here. I'm still smiling.
Yeah, you've got to be positive about it. That's kind of like one thing I've taken from it. As you say, you can be like negative and have a pity party. I think you just got to look at ways that you can improve. And keep doing the right things, and then as the markets get better, you'll be in a better position to kind of prosper.
Has your market been hot this year, Tom? Because you're obviously very narrow in what you do. It's not like, oh, I do IT.
Yeah,
It's a particular part of IT. Has that been active?
it has been. I think we've probably been too niche, actually. We're focusing on kind of just startups within the AI tech space, and they are early stage businesses, like half a dozen people, the way they're trying to save money. So a lot of our clients are just trying to do it themselves, and then when they struggle, go out to kind of agencies like us. So we've probably been too niche in all honesty, and probably a little bit too reliant on the UK. So that's kind of why we're now doing like a couple of European markets in the US, because I think we need to kind of like counterbalance, if the economy is a little bit rocky, the other regions will kind of cover. So yeah, big like learning lesson there, that we were kind of too UK specific, too kind of niche, actually.
And the States is really exciting. We look to think about going into the States. We had a couple of conversations with Enterprise Ireland and various different sort of entities here in terms of the logistics of that and the tax implications and the setting up. And we actually started off interviewing a couple of US recruiters. They're an interesting breed. If you listen to everything they say, they're full of so much confidence and bravado. And of course, they're all salespeople. So they're very good at selling to you. And of course, the market tightens a little bit. We've kind of put it on ice, but it's definitely something we'd be looking to do in the future. How did you manage your US exploits, and how did that sort of come about?
Well, we got quite a lot of advice from like the TRN platform, and then like a few people associated from the TRN, and then also PGC Consulting that you might have heard of. They do like the compliance and contract side, but actually they're like quite generous when it comes to just general advice and material on like best practices. As I say, it's like early stages. We've only just kicked it off, so we actually haven't generated any revenue yet. Maybe after when we build a little bit more and generate some money, then. Well, let's see. Yeah, I'll let you know in a few months how we're getting on. But it's an exciting challenge, and
a huge
definitely
market.
a big market.
Alone is just massive, and for tech on that sort of California side, Palo Alto, San Francisco, and it's a huge hub there, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And salaries 2.5, 3 times what they are in the UK. Less agencies. So I'm excited. The working hours might be a bit of a struggle, but we'll see. How.
Will you go out there? Will you do a recce? And
definitely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to us winning our first few clients and generating revenue, and then going out and seeing them. So
Good plan. You'll share that between you and your business partner.
Yeah, maybe I'll take all of that side of the traveling aspects. So he'll probably want to fight me for it, though. We might have to have our own head-to-head.
Oh, it's very exciting. Well, good luck with that.
Cheers. Should we move on to the next part? So what are some of the key changes we've seen across the world of recruitment over the last 12 to 18 months? I'll pose that one to you then.
I think the biggest difference we've noted is a real hesitancy to do anything on both sides. Which has been a real challenge, because often in different recruitment markets, it's either candidate heavy or client heavy, or one of them's leading the way, and maybe the clients are all hiring, but you can't find the candidates, or the candidates are ready for a move and no one's really hiring at the moment. We've had a real slowdown on both sides. It's been quite hard to generate candidates. You can find the candidates. A lot of convincing to actually make a move. What is going on out there in the economy at the moment? Is it a good time to move? I've been where I am for 5 years. Do I jump at this time? What's it actually like? So we've had a bit of hesitancy that side. The biggest issue has been with clients. Like I say, our two largest clients have both had hiring freezes this year. And even the new clients we've worked with, or the other clients we're working with at the moment, have just seemed so slow and hesitant to actually jump or make a hire. We've done so much work this year where you've got to that point where you've delivered what you wanted to deliver, you found the right candidate, you filled the role, and actually, do you know what? We're just going to pop it on pause, and actually we're just going to review this in 6 months' time. And that's been right across all industries that we work in. It hasn't just been IT focused or legal focused or sales focused. We've noticed a hit right across the board. So it has been really, really challenging to try to manage both of those things. And the only way we've really found of having success is, number one, really trying to deepen those client relationships.
Yeah.
Number two, just doing loads more than we did last year. Last year's levels of business in terms of phone calls, send outs, interviews, and activity isn't anywhere close this year. You're having to work 2 or 3 times as hard to try to get the same sort of results, which certainly hasn't been for everybody this year.
Yeah. Have you had to pivot in terms of like types of client focuses then, with that being said?
Absolutely. So a lot of people naturally go after the large global super brands, and we've had a lot of success with those big household names. But with a little bit more hesitancy and freezing, we've had a lot more success with just some of the SME type businesses.
Okay.
Maybe slightly a later stage than some of the guys you're talking to. But small to medium size Irish-based businesses who are big enough to be growing, but not big enough to be able to do it themselves.
Yeah.
We've always had these people, but we're trying to deepen the relationships really, and spend more time with the clients, get them into our offices here, go out to see them in their offices. We've held client events this year. We've had them all to the top of some fancy hotel's rooftop with Michelin star food and wine, and trying to sort of strengthen those bonds. We've also joined a big networking event called the Executive Institute, which has been hugely successful, where we've had the chance to invite some of our clients along to these events. We were actually last week at a hotel in central Dublin listening to Dan Carter, the New Zealand World Cup winning number 10. He did a big speak, and we had a table of 10. So Aisling and I went, and we had 8 spots where we could invite various clients to come along. So it's really been about trying to develop those relationships and get closer to those people. So hey, if they're letting you down, at least they feel bad about it.
I find that it is all about that value added piece, particularly with the market's been a little bit quieter. Adding value, not just outside of transactional recruitment, is kind of where it's at the moment. And then you would like to think that if you've added that value, that goes without saying they're going to call you when the markets pick up and when they're hiring again. But definitely something that we've seen in terms of trying to move away from just doing recruitment
level. Some of the networking stuff we do, or when we had them all at the rooftop in central Dublin, we weren't really talking about business. We were almost encouraging the staff we had there just to get to know them and have fun, and to thank them for their business, and find out, what are they doing this weekend, and where are they going on holiday, and just trying to almost strengthen that, rather than thanks for coming, got any jobs, which is almost a little bit pushy and salesy and plastic.
You don't want to force it down their throat, do you, at all? Also, it's just a bit unnatural, I find. I think you want to just build that personal relationship, and then it will kind of stem, and
it makes it more enjoyable.
I think so.
We get on really well with these people we're working with, and they see us as a partner rather than a necessary evil, or somebody that you might flick on a job spec to. We don't really want to start to get to work with people unless they've given us the time. You put something terrific up on LinkedIn fairly recently, which I pinched from you straight away and shared it with my team, which was best clients versus worst clients. And it was
I saw that.
There was a little crap emoji on it, I seem to remember, but it's completely true. This is what a good client looks like, and this is what a bad client looks like. And we've really tried to drill that into the team, because I guess we had a lot of clients who just weren't behaving, but people were just continuing to waste their time with, and you have to step away at some point.
I think with the market a little bit slower, you can be forgiven for kind of taking on that kind of business, but it's just best to walk away from crap, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's so much of it around, and so often we just let it go too long. And don't get me wrong, when you get a new client and you haven't worked with them before, you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. So I'm going to give you everything, but I'm only going to do it for a week or two before we sit down and review. Are you responsive? Can we speak? Are you serious about this? Are you interviewing the candidates I've sent you? And if you're interviewing them, are you taking them on? And if not, why not really? So I think we've been a little bit more agile and a bit more demanding of the people we're working with, because so many of them are, of course, just wasting your time.
Yeah, that's true. Anything else you want to add around key changes?
No, I mean, it's more work, less results. There's absolutely no room in our business this year for an average performance. People are having to go above and beyond and do more than they've ever done to get the same sort of level of results. And I think we've lost a lot of people this year who just aren't cut out for it. They joined maybe in the good times. It's fairly easy to make a placement. And then when things are a little bit tougher, they've realized maybe it isn't the job for them. So close with the clients, and yeah, trying to, and in some cases pivot, to different areas. If suddenly IT isn't so hot, some of our consultants have worked in the engineering sector, which has a little bit of synergy between the two, but maybe try to work on different areas. So yeah, it's been a challenging year. How about you? How have you found this year, Tom?
Yeah, similar. We were saying to our guys as well that you just need to put in extra effort, more calls, more spec CVs, more connection requests, just more of the business development activities than ever before, just to produce the same results. I think it's been a bit of a shock to the system for a lot of our guys. We hired like cohorts of kind of grads in spurts, and a lot of them joined kind of in 2021, 2022. So we were at a point where we could just feed them roles, and we made good money, and it was great. But yeah, we were a bit naive, really. We kind of took our foot off the gas when it comes to BD, and we'll never ever do that again, no matter how good the market.
Yeah, it's the same for us. Yeah,
we just need to always be doing business development. At least a good group of you that can go out and win business, just to always kind of consistently churn out those new client wins and stuff like that.
Does that fall to you and your business partner, or do you get the team involved with that as well?
Yeah, no. So yeah, all the team are involved. I guess like me and Theo, been in recruitment for quite a long time, so we have got quite good networks and are just able to pick up roles easier. But no, we do kind of 360 recruitment. So we kind of do what we've changed to doing. We've done this pivot quite recently, is we work in sprints. So we'll have the morning is business development call sprints, where they do nothing but just do business development calls, no emails.
Nope,
no faffing around on LinkedIn or anything like that, unless it's revenue generating activity. They're focused on their sprint. So we do 3 hours of business development calls. Then we have like a digital sprint just after lunch when everyone's full and feeling a bit lethargic. We'll have the digital sprint for an hour and a half with like floating CVs and connecting and all that kind of stuff. And then we have like lead generation and more clients. So we're finding that that's working quite well, that we have the dedicated time and we're all in it together. So, if you're getting told to do one on the phone to the client, we're all in it together. You can laugh it off, call the client whatever you want, and then move on to the next call. So that's working quite well. And just the constant BD push, 24/7 for me and Theo, my business partner, for sure. And as I say, that won't unrelent ever.
No. You need to remind yourself, when the market changes and it gets better, you still need to keep that little engine churning.
Yeah, it's easy. Well, it maybe sounds like, maybe you guys have fallen into that trap. You've got some good house accounts, bringing in a lot of revenue, great relationships, what you're kind of doing, and with the process and the type of, and you fall into your comfort zone. I think everyone is like guilty of it. But it's doing the difficult thing and still doing that BD activity, even when you've got some nice cushy accounts.
And do you get all of your guys to do the business development, even the more junior ones, or do you have different levels where they're maybe excused from it, or is it just a company-wide thing?
Pretty much everyone. We have like 1 or 2 like delivery consultants. We find that there are some that are more versed to like business development, that just have that old school sales kind of mentality of just picking up the phone and are not afraid of getting told to F off. So there's some that basically shine and look forward to that, some that maybe just don't enjoy it as much, but we all try and muck in together, really.
I guess it will work if you and Theo are doing it. You're leading by example. So hey, we're doing it, there's no excuse not to do it, really. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm joining you with it. I'm leading from the front. Does that work well for you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what we've tried to do. Yeah, definitely recently, is just lead from the front, always on the phone. We've got standing desks, so we're just trying to be visible and me and Theo, first ones in and on the phone. So I don't know about you, with the whole kind of personal branding, social media kind of aspect, I feel like the industry has kind of gone a little bit too much that way. And I think the ability to pick up the phone and win business and that old school recruitment mentality, I think is still like very much needed. I think we've got a little bit lost in the whole personal branding,
I agree.
social media storm.
It's still a people business, and there's so much spam out there at the moment. How are you going to cut through that? And how are you going to build rapport and create relationships? Can't really do that online. You have to have that introductory telephone call. And we try to make our business development easy for the guys. We've got quite a good back office and admin team who will do all of the prep work. So, okay, we're researching something and we're then building all of the data in terms of this is the person you need to speak to, and this is the email address, and this is the telephone number. So when it comes to our business development day, which is a Wednesday, we have a sprint similar to you, 9:30 in the morning till 12:30 midday. The entire company runs business development, but it only works where you've done your prep first. It isn't just randomly picking up the phone and calling people. You've almost planned your attack, and we try to make it easy for the guys. So once you've mapped out who you want to contact, and we usually say you need to be trying to hit up maybe 50 different firms.
Yeah.
Once you've got the name of the hiring manager and you've got the telephone number for the hiring manager, why don't you send them something really juicy before you make the call? So actually, when you make the call, it's just much easier. You're not phoning up trying to sell your company because they don't care about your company. But say you guys are looking for a legal secretary and I've just sent you details of 4 absolutely terrific legal secretaries. How are you getting on filling that role? But it is absolutely people, personality, relationships, conversations. And we drive that at all times. It's the key to everything, really. It isn't just hiding behind the brand or the bits and pieces. Because, of course, now ChatGPT is managing to rewrite everybody's LinkedIn like they're an A-star English graduate, when actually in real terms they can't actually spell. So it's important.
That's true.
Done,
yeah. Sounds like you got the prep and the admin stuff down well, whereas like the sales guys can then just make the calls and focus on what they're good at.
Absolutely. So often they get bogged down in the research or the prep, and they don't do it. As much as you make them, you try to help them, you coach them, they just don't do it. They're not good at that sort of stuff. So you try and make it easier for them.
Yeah.
They get in to think a little bit, but then getting everything laid out and sorted. So it is just, I want you on the telephone. When I say I want you on the telephone, I want you to call next, call next, call next. And guess what? I'll do it. And Ashley will do it. But if we're doing it, if you're not sure what you're doing, please come and listen. Come and sit next to me. Come and ask me questions. I think the biggest problem we have normally is people won't feel confident enough to come to ask you. So even if it is just doing it, and hopefully they're listening in and taking some notes and listening to different styles and all of that sort of stuff. But we're having to do a lot more of that ourselves. When you're growing a business, it's very difficult to try and do the day-to-day actual recruitment piece, even if that's what you'd love to be doing. You've got 1,000 other things to do, haven't you? But we've had to go back to basics, lead from the front. And it's enjoyable, isn't it? We love being in recruitment. That's why we work in recruitment. So it's quite good fun cold calling people and talking to clients.
It is. Yeah, it is. You just kind of got to get into that mindset and get back into that zone of BD mindset. But once you're in it, there is a buzz, there is a thrill.
Oh, I love it.
You just got to dust off the cobwebs a little bit and get on with it. Should we move on to the next
let's do
one?
it.
Yeah. So what does the future look like, i.e. the next 12 to 18 months?
Do you want to kick off? Do you want to start this one?
So I think I would say that there are a couple of things that I kind of envisage happening in the next 12 to 18 months, and it probably already started happening, is obviously AI and technology kind of acting as like an assistant and streamlining our workflows and things like that. So we have like a couple of examples. So we had actually an intern come in over the summer, built like an AI system that basically automates our job posting and anonymizes our JDs, and we can just get that out within seconds. And have you heard of the company called Sourcewell?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's like the whole email sequencing. They have like a content coach as well, which is used like NLP. So basically, I think over the next 12 to 18 months, I think having AI as your kind of assistant, human in the loop kind of like thing, I think will make recruitment companies a lot more efficient. So there's that. I think that will come into play a lot more. But then I also think when everyone's using kind of AI and all those kind of tools, people will want to talk to humans on the phone. We'll may get to a point where everyone's got these automated emails, email sequencing, and every email looks exactly the same. You're probably going to have hiring managers that will just want to talk to a human being. So I think that maybe, exactly. So I actually think that it will come full circle, that yes, those email sequencing and those kind of tools will save time and no doubt win business. But a differentiator will be just old school, getting on the phone, and people wanting to talk to humans, have that human interaction, that personal relationship. I think will will become like
I see it
quite
myself.
prominent.
I can't tell you how many people try and sell something to me every single day. I'm sure you get the same as a business owner. You open up your email and there are 28 different things that people, and some of them are quite well written. Some of them you can tell are written by ChatGPT, but very rarely do I actually look and read through them. It's just spam. There's tons of it as well. So much of it, especially working in recruitment. Probably all the TRN's gold partners trying to sell us stuff. And lots of it great stuff. Lots of it is great stuff.
Yeah.
But the difference with getting somebody on the telephone, actually talking to them, is often all the difference, because everyone's busy and everyone's getting these things all the time. So how are you going to make the difference? Well, you could try by picking up the phone.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's this whole like hyper personalized emails where actually they're all now quite similar, whereas the personalized approach is just calling somebody up. I'm interested to see that come full circle, I think.
Yeah. Most of the biggest successes I've had have come from really targeted, personalized stuff. And it's a balance, isn't it? Because you can't just do 1 or 2 or 3 bits of that and then think you've done a good job, because you've got to do volume to have any success.
It's true. Yeah. I think you can't just focus on the phone. So the whole, personalized emails, LinkedIn outreach, all that kind of stuff, I think on different days work well. So it's having the balance of having all those different touch points and using all those different methods. And as I say, how do
they want to hear from you? Because everyone's different, aren't they? Some people want a WhatsApp. So I'm getting voice notes now. I had someone from LinkedIn trying to sell to me, and she'd left a 30-second voice note. So they're a thing now.
I kind of like that though. I like that approach. Yeah. Why not? Yeah, it's definitely something different. The voice notes have worked for us.
I'm sick of voice notes from my wife. She just leaves me so many of them. I dread it. I look at my phone. I've got like 4 to listen to. So maybe I'm too old for voice notes. I don't know.
I think if it's authentic. I think if it's an authentic voice note, not too salesy, kind of leaves you wanting a bit more. I think that kind of stuff does work really well. If you do your whole pitch on a voice note and it lasts for a minute and 30 seconds, it's a bit cringe, and I don't think it'll work. But a bit of a teaser, I definitely think it's worked for us. Yeah.
Is it phone? Is it voice note? Is it WhatsApp? Is it email? I mean, we've got to try so many different things, and everyone wants something different, of course, don't they? You've just realised I hate voice notes, but actually maybe you love voice notes, and everyone's a little bit different.
Each to their own. Yeah, exactly. Should we move on to the next couple of questions then? So I'll fire this one to you then. So do recruiters enjoy business development?
If I looked at our team and I asked that question genuinely, I would be shocked if more than 20% said yes. I would think it might be more like 10%. And I do have a few that absolutely love it and they're very, very good at it. But I think a lot of people have a real fear about it, and they give up very, very quickly when they do business development. They're like, well, I've done it and it didn't work. It's like, well, okay, first of all, let's have a look and see, well, what did you do?
Yeah.
And how much of it did you do? Did you just give up? Or did you try and you tried and you tried? And I've always found when I was growing the desks that I grew in recruitment, the follow-up is the most important part. It isn't that initial piece of business development. The phone call or the voice message or the email needs to go out week after week, after month, and then suddenly 7 months later on a Wednesday afternoon, the phone goes and someone says, Ben, can you help me with X? And I'm like, God, I'm so lucky today. And I'm not lucky at all, because I've actually called this guy 17 times over the last 9 months, and I've sent him candidates and I've sent him emails, but it's making yourself relevant. And I think, having been in sales for a long time, I'm hardened to that, and I understand that, and I get that. But for a young person, we've taken a lot of maybe grad star people like you have, junior, hungry ones who've got the right characteristics and personality traits, but they don't know what they're doing. And to try to drill into them repetition and consistency and follow-up. It's one thing saying it, but it's another thing doing it. So I think a lot of people just give up too easily. And they stop going when they're on the right track. They're just not getting the results they want straight away. Yeah.
Well, it reminds me of what you sent through to me after that TRN session about the follow-ups, and definitely something the
stats were crazy. Did I send you little percentages, like how many people make a sale on the first call? You just don't. It's something like 2%.
And I think like junior people coming into recruitment just expect that they're going to win a client off the first call, and unfortunately in a market where there's a lot of recruitment agencies like the UK, it just doesn't work like that.
You've got to be relevant. You've got to keep going, and it is a persistence type thing. So trying to get people to understand that. I mean, the second big problem we have with business development is people often put it off, or they deprioritize it because they think they're going to make quicker money with a hot live job or a hot live candidate who's interviewing right now. And they don't realize it doesn't take 12 months to set up a new desk. If you've got the right candidate and you're speccing them into the right hiring manager, you can turn a new client or a new piece of business within a week or two. It hasn't got to take a year. So I think a lot of people think it's going to take a long time, when in reality, if it's done right, you hit the right person at the right time, you can have pretty quick success.
Yeah, exactly. If you have the right follow-ups, those different touch points, those different channels, I think it is possible to kind of turn around clients a lot quicker. But yeah, we had an example the other day. I showed like the guys sent this guy, I think it was like on the 9th or 10th email, and the last email was about some meetup that he attended. It turns out we've got a mutual connection. The guy that runs this London AI meetup, this VC guy, mentioned him in the post, and a few different things because I saw he did a talk, and he came back, and that was like the 9th or 10th email, signed terms, got business on now. So it's just trying to drill that into the guys. But you're right. I think they just expect it to be easier than it is, and it really isn't. And as you say, like they just give up. If the first call is like, I'm not interested, they probably just won't call them again.
And then they think everybody I called today is not going to be interested because that one person one time wasn't interested. And it's like, no, you need to get a lot of no's before you get a yes. And the no's aren't a problem because actually you've done something. You've promoted your brand. You've made them aware that you exist. And actually you keep chipping away and keep chipping away and keep chipping away. It is that persistence piece, which I think a lot of people don't have. And if you've lived long enough and worked long enough, you maybe learn that and you become more at ease with that. But for a young person new to a job, very few would really have that stickability piece, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like the Gen Z era, but maybe you and me are a bit more old school where you've got to work harder for it. Whereas, everything is now so accessible, on apps and everything, isn't it? So maybe they're in the mindset that BD and sales and commission should just land on your lap and be that simple, but it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Wish it did. But yeah, I think the same, just on that question, I think the same with our guys. I think probably like 10-20% of them would say that they enjoy it, but I think like what we've realized, and maybe a bit of a learning curve for us as well, is just making sure that we give them the right tools, like the templates, the pitches. So we have a bit of a playbook that we've kind of built where, they can just literally read from a sheet and then read off all the objection handlers if they want to.
Need that.
But they have to put in the reps, like if you're in the gym. That's the hard part, is getting them to put in the reps. But yeah, I think giving the BD guy the right tools. I'm not to say that they're going to enjoy it, but I think makes it a little bit more enjoyable.
Well, they'll enjoy it when they do it. They have success and they make some commission.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Final one then.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So there is a shortage of good recruitment talent out there in the market, making it impossible to attract recruiters to our business. What are your kind of like thoughts on that?
We've changed our hiring strategy a lot this year. So in previous years, we've hired to create demand because the market was just like that. And this year, we've flipped that on its head completely and really just hiring to fulfill demand. So we're not going to try and get somebody on board to make us busy. We will get someone on board to deliver if we have made ourselves so busy we can't do any further. We've had so much failure with people coming in without the experience. Don't get me wrong, we've had a couple of incredible hires when we picked that junior with the right character and personality and shown them how to do recruitment. But at the same time, we've had loads of terrific people who just weren't actually cut out for it.
Okay.
This year, we've gone and taken on a lot of people who've got experience working in recruitment. So as opposed to getting them in at level 1 junior level where you know nothing and I'll teach everything from scratch, we've brought people in from other agencies. We've been warned against this numerous times by various different James Osbornes and Gordon Stottarts, as it can be a risky tactic. And I think we've really felt that this year. If you're interviewing someone who knows recruitment, they will say everything you want to hear in the interview. And however much you probe and prod and question around, they know the answers. They know what you want to hear because they've gone through training and development and they've worked in it. So it has been a real challenge to find the right sort of people. And market short, you know, I'm very lucky. My CEO is the most incredible recruiter that you will ever come across. So when she does some sourcing to try to find somebody, she puts fantastic people in front of us. And the two of us as a little sales duo are normally pretty good at convincing people to come to join us. But then when we've done that piece, whether they're the right person, well, this year in a lot of cases, they haven't been. It is tough to try and find the right people. How have you found hiring this year?
Yeah, similar. I think, as I mentioned kind of like earlier in the conversation, I think there is like a plethora of recruiters out there that maybe got into the industry in 2021 and 2022 and really just kind of like glorified resources. So there's just a lot of people out there that, you know, haven't really got that kind of like business development kind of like experience under their belt. So it is kind of training them from scratch. So yeah, that's what we've kind of like found is that BD element is lacking. And I think they've like left, and also a lot of people probably kind of left the industry as well, realizing that it's been kind of like tough. We have like lost a few people because they've, you know, really struggled with like the change in the market. They did really well, and loads of commission, and then kind of like moved on.
And that's hard. If you're used to doing well and suddenly you're not doing well, we've noticed a lot of people really come to terms with that. And it's either give up or work much harder.
Yeah. And I think we found that people that have kind of like different options, maybe they've got degrees in different subjects, have actually gone back to going to do something that's related to their degree, whereas the others that maybe don't have that fallback, they have persevered. So we're kind of actually about to embark on like a graduate recruitment campaign for starters in January. So about to go through it, but we've
all over again.
Yeah, we've changed our interview process. I think where we kind of struggled or made mistakes is, I don't know about you, but if you're a recruiter, you feel like you could spot a good recruiter just from talking to them. And I think we were very like naive in that sense. So our new process, which is about to start, we've had our first like few like phone interviews, is a much more thorough on-site interview where we're going to be doing role plays. There's even going to be a session where they're going to be doing like a personalized email and sending a candidate on email. And really basically it's going to cut. Because I think we need to make sure that they can do the job. They're happy with the kind of style of work that's on offer as well. Because as you say, like, people will say whatever they want you to hear in the interview, and push comes to shove on the first day, you want them to get on the phone and cold call a client. You know, I would say, you know, 1 in 2 don't want to do it. That's what we found. So we're really going to filter out for a much more thorough interview process. So I think that's maybe one way that not just us, but I'm sure other recruitment companies can kind of get better talent, but it's a bit of a hit and miss, you know, when it comes to juniors and entry level kind of like recruiters.
Say all the right things and do all the right things, but actually when it actually comes down to doing this all day, every day, are they gonna cold call? Are they gonna get back on the phone after rejection after rejection? And that's the kind of people that would do well in recruitment, in my opinion. But finding them is difficult. Very true.
All right.
Surely we finished 3:48. We've done more than half an hour, I reckon, and we didn't swear. We only said crap.
Yeah, exactly. No proper swear words. So yeah, nice. So that was good. Good.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. I enjoyed doing it with you. I knew it was going to go okay. Some people would be like, "Oh God, I'm not sure when I do it with him." I was like, "I could do it, Tom."
Yes. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe they like make a note of like an interaction in one of those TRN sessions. But I think we had a chat on that first peer review, and then you sent me something over. So they must have made a note and thought,
maybe
they'll get on heads. Yeah. But it wasn't as confrontational as the title makes out.
Right. I'm not having this.
I know. I don't know where the head-to-head.
Come to Dublin.
I don't know where the head-to-head thing comes from, but sounds more intense than it actually is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, great to see you, mate. And
yeah.
look, good luck with this new hiring intake. Good luck with the States. This sounds like a really exciting time for your business.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good luck with you as well. So have you just started the Scandinavia thing then? Is that
recently? It's purely just an opportunity that's come up. We've just met the right guy who speaks Swedish and Norwegian and has been a recruiter and knows all the contracts up there and is bringing lots of business in. So it was really just a random opportunity that came across our desk, and it started well. I actually put a note out in the TRN group when we first interviewed him just to see if anyone had advice for the Nordics. No one came back to me, and that isn't normally because people are rude. It's because no one's doing it, which is quite exciting for me.
Yeah, no, that is true. I don't really know any companies doing the Nordics, but is that a good market then for your divisions then?
It's a very, very good market in IT and engineering. But you have to understand the culture and the people and the clients, and the guy we've got has done all of those things, which is quite exciting for us. So often we've gone into things and I don't know, we haven't got the right person or the right approach to it. But it's new and it's different. I just think there's a market there because UK is saturated and Ireland is saturated, and it's like we're often fishing in pools which have got 1,000 recruiters. It doesn't feel like there's that much there. So you've got less competition. You could be the best recruiter in the world, and suddenly if you've got too much competition, you're going to struggle. Where suddenly you're a fairly average recruiter if you're working in an area where there are desperate clients and you've got a resource of candidates. So
that's true. Yeah, maybe it's an untapped region for you then. I don't really know anyone doing the Nordics, so maybe you've got a little niche.
If someone's doing it, you come back and say, absolutely, give me a call, Ben. I've done this for 3 years and no one came back. So maybe you think they either hate me or maybe it's something that no one's doing, which maybe is a good thing.
Maybe you're ahead of the game. So fingers crossed.
I'm definitely not.
That's what you got to tell yourself.
Yeah, next time I see you, I'll ask you how the States is, and who knows, if Scandinavia is amazing, I'll give you a shout. You can shoot over to Copenhagen or Oslo.
I'll hold you to it.